There we go. Hello, beloved ones. Hamutame here, the Freedom Illuminator, Human MRI Psychic Surgeon. And I'm happy to be with you, joining you this late night. I just thought of jumping in and sharing this magical time with you. What legacy are you leaving behind? That's the conversations that we're having. And I'm just wondering, even when you see the word legacy, what is coming to your mind? I had a conversation with some amazing people, the people that I love in my life, and we were talking about this, and they said, like, when somebody hears legacy, the traditional way, people are thinking about it about what material, house, finances, and all that am I gonna leave behind, And where has that taken us, like the traditional way of legacy? Where has that taken us? And even in your life, I just want you to just reflect. Who are the people that you know that had like all those material stuff being left for them? And what has happened with time? You know, were they able to keep it, or from what you know, majority did not? Either they just used it all at once and then it was gone, or someone, because they didn't know what to do with it, they became sometimes even addicts, because it's kind of like, oh my God, there's this lot here. What am I going to do with it? Or they just had a lot of people around, and then eventually everything was gone. And now what is left is kind of like, yeah, everybody loved me when I had everything. And now that I don't have anything, no one is here for me, because you did not, or they were not taught that spirit of discernment to know what to do with it, to choose what to do with it, even when you're talking about the capacity to hold something. This is why at times people have something but then they lose it immediately. So I'm just here to talk about legacy, in my opinion, which I believe is a new way of being, to say, when I am done here, at the end of your life, how are you going to leave those that you love? What is it that they're going to remember about you? How are children going to be, especially when it comes to the emotional resilience, when it comes to their mental and emotional well-being, their health, when it comes to the confidence that they have, the self-love that they have, the freedom of individuality, emotional independence, even the relation with their sexual energy. Because I don't know about you, but what I know is that a lot of us were born into shame. They were born into a lot of grief. They were born into unresolved issues, even, yeah, remnants of slavery. Uh, that, I see that even when it comes to just the religious system, where the core beliefs is just that you're just a sinner, like you're just a slave. That's why I'm not into organized religions and all that, but it's just something that I'm just gonna throw out there. Are you living in alignment with your values, or you are living in alignment with the values that you were born into? When you look at the patterns that you were born into, what you saw happening, and especially when it comes to love, the relationship that was happening between your mother and your father, what is it that you saw happening that you see yourself repeating, or you are experiencing that? Or somehow you have shut your eyes to that. You don't want to look at it. You know, like I said, I had a conversation with someone, and what they asked me is, what is the point of going back there? It happened, it was normal. A lot of us went through that. And my question is, would you love your child to go through what you went through? And I believe a lot of you do not want that. But if you're not going to go deep and look at that, chances are you're going to create that. And actually, I guess since I spoke a bit about relations, even though I didn't want to go that far, but I'm going to talk about it, because I've had this interesting connection where I'm connecting to some of my family members who were pastors, or whatever you call it, pastors, leaders in the churches that they were leading. I connected to these people, and when I connected, I could see that cloud of darkness, At times I wonder why am I being shown this? But there is a reason, because a lot of people are going through this. I could see the cloud of darkness. I could feel the emotional pain that was in that home. But when I get out of these visions, I'm like, oh, okay. But this person was a spiritual leader, isn't like, pastor and all that. Why do I see all these things as if this is what they left behind? And when I ask question, because I love to question, tell me what was happening, because this person was a pastor in that time, but this is what I'm seeing. And then I go into the darkness of maybe the addiction, whether it's alcohol addiction, like there were unresolved issues. But instead of resolving that, they ran towards religion, and they were forced to abide by the rules that were present. And especially if they became leaders, that meant there was that pressure of this is how I have to. And that means they have not worked on the issues at their core. And what they do is they leave a legacy of children who are going to adopt those parents, because the imprints are still there. It doesn't matter who you be, but if you have not worked on this at their core, this is what your children are going to inherit. So at times we abide by I have to. We are not being ourselves. We are coming from fear. This is what is expected of me, when you have not healed. And what you don't realize is that these are the imprints that are present. You may go through the whole struggle, push and pull. You may go through that and kind of like you are surviving, but at the end of the day, you are not surviving because you are not fully enjoying that freedom. You are not fully expressing who you are, isn't like living in your truth. You are still afraid of the same parents coming through again. So what does that do? It leaves the legacy of that, like I said, dark clouds that you're living over or through to your children, of the unresolved emotions that you are living for your children. And people will wonder, but these children, their father was, their mother was, what has happened? Because you have not healed these wounds at their core. You are just passing the baton of the pain that you ran away from. And this is what I talk about when I say it's different when you are being led by something that turns you on, the joy you are creating, you are inspired, rather than the fear. I'm afraid that maybe I'm going to be angry at any moment, or whatever that you're afraid of happening, right? So when I'm talking about a legacy, when it comes to self-love, when it comes to confidence, that wholeness, that freedom of individuality, because even when we're looking at relationships, the reason why most relationships, either they're failing or it's kind of like they're doing well, but they're not really doing well. Why? Because people are surviving in codependency patterns. People do not know who they are outside that relationship. It's codependency. So you have not healed your wounded masculine. You have not healed your wounded feminine. You are operating with the other person. And when that dissolves, you do not know who you are. And I want to speak especially to women, because often I'm speaking to women because the more I do this work and the more I connect with amazing, beautiful goddesses in their magnificence, and I'm talking about a goddess, I'm talking about a queen, who has forgotten who she is. The power that you hold within you, which is the key, because I believe as a woman, you are a key has or a key or a hand that has to lead your man to his godliness, to his king embodiment. And if you coming through with a closed heart, even though you may think your heart is open, or maybe it's open from the low esteem vibration, where it's kind of like you just get to love because somehow you want to be accepted, or you are loving from nothing, from the emptiness, from the unworthiness, which is, what are you loving from? You understand? And I'm talking about women because often I find that your womb is magic. And when you are able to hold that magic and have higher standard and also protect it, you get to choose who you allow within that magic. And a woman who is embodied and fully connected to source, because even when I'm talking about power is fully aligning your personality with source. If you are not embodying that and connected to that energy, you are not a fertile ground, baby. And that means you're not going to support your partner at the level that you are meant to support your partner. And I'm not saying men are not capable of leading their women to that God embodiment. They are, but women is more powerful when a woman is holding that space. Because as much as men have that energetic womb, the hara, as a woman is there even in your physical form. And it's quite interesting because even before I did this call, I was just like a lot of things are just coming through as a child growing up. At times there are things that are being said, especially when it comes to dark witchcraft or somebody did something, curses and all that. I always had this from since I was a child. They don't want you to have a child. Like the first thing that they attack is the womb. And the question that I always had was, why? I mean, the person is just a child. Why should they want you not to have a child? I asked myself that. And you may have come across that, or maybe something that you were told by a psychic or somewhere where you went there, like, oh, they don't want you to have a child. Why is that? Because your child, when you're talking about the womb, they may have talked about it as like giving birth to a child, but it's not about giving birth to children. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the sexual energy. It's giving birth to life. Because anything that you desire, any idea, when it comes to that fertile ground, that womb, it blooms. And even if you are with your partner and they share those beautiful ideas with you and you have that fertile womb, baby magic happens. But at times, what I find is that a lot has happened, whether it's cases or whatever, and instead of having a womb where things blossom, it's kind of like you have a tomb, right? It's there's no nutrients there. It's just dryness. There is nothing. And sometimes you may perceive it from just giving birth to a child. Sometimes it may be even coming to the ideas that you wanna implement and have something manifest in physical reality. Keep on doing things. Nothing is really matching up. What is happening here? There is a lot of stuff that are at play. So I'm just showing up to just talk about this. Basically, what I'm emphasizing is that there are many other forces that are at play than what you see. There are many other forces that are at play than just your habits and patterns. Like there is a lot of things that influence that. What were you born into? What legacy was passed on to you? And what are you going to leave behind? Because it's bigger than just the material stuff and all that. Right? This is why I'm inviting you to this sacred sovereign legacy, which is starting on the 5th of November. We are going to be in for 3 days. This is just a little investment of $297, but it's valued at more than $2,000. And for the first people who are going to jump in the next 48 hours, you're going to get 30 minutes where we're going to dive deep to see what beliefs are holding you back. VIP session with me for 30 minutes if you jump in within the next 48 hours. So I'm just inviting you in. If you're feeling it at your core, you know what you want to desire. You know how much present you want to be. You know how much embodying confidence will do to you. You know how much trust in your own intuition, that inner guidance that is coming through, will have you do. You know the patterns that you were born into. You know how much you are dealing with betrayals, rejection, abandonment, and maybe abuse that you were born into. You may have experienced that, or maybe there's some things that are bleeding in other lifetime or generational, however that you may perceive it. And this is your moment. When I say you just gonna shift from overlooked to being seen. Because I know it's quite interesting. I was working with somebody, and in her words, she said, for years I worked so hard, but it's like I was not given credit for whatever that I was doing. I did what I did, and things were not meeting up. And it's not only something that happens in your professional or business life. It can be something that is also happening in a relationship, where you are with somebody and you are there but they don't see you. So imagine when you're shifting from being overlooked to magnetic, where you are seen and people are noticing that there's something about you, right? Changing from people pleasing to sovereignty, where you are speaking your truth, where you are following what turns you on, where you are sharing your truth. And when I'm talking about sharing your truth, people often rush to say, I'll tell them off. No, I'm talking about speaking from your soul, allowing your soul to express through you, following what lights you up rather than creating from desperation, shifting from invisible to being undeniable, you know, aligning with what you deserve, aligning with your unique signature blueprint, embodying your confidence. What is possible when you show up knowing that you are worthy of being seen? What is possible if you show up in life expecting amazing things to happen? I was talking to somebody not so long ago, and it was quite interesting when, like, she's just speaking and she said, some of us, we are struggling and all that, and it's kind of like, this is like deep embedded belief of this is just what happens to us. And I believe you have your own version where you may have had this so many times, you may have told yourself this story so many times. What is the core of that? And I want you to experience that in 3 days. I want to show you what is possible when you say yes to yourself. I want to show you what is possible when you choose to be unapologetic. Oof. I want to show you what is possible when you disconnect from the templates that you were born into and fully align with who you are, what you deserve, and show up as the magical being that you are. And I'm giving this away at 297. We're starting on the 5th of November. And if you jump in within 48 hours, you've got a 30 minutes with me, baby, where we're just going to see what is it that is interfering with what you truly, truly desire. Because there is magic that is happening. There is a lot of information that your body has. And when you show up with somebody who knows how to fully communicate with the consciousness of your beingness, when you say, this is what I desire, and then I get to see what is lighting up in different aspects of your body, it's magic that happens. It's not like I'm not coming from here with information. I'm going to talk with the magic of your consciousness with your body. Like, for instance, as I'm speaking, a lot of people are watching, and there is one of you, if at all you are present and aware, from your pelvic area, especially the right side. It's kind of like coming from the navel, but on the right side, there is something that is like just imprinting and then going to your hip area. This is your body already that is showing me what needs your work here. You may experience pain there. Like I said, it's like a pelvic area, it goes to the navel somewhere there. Whatever that attachment is, whatever blocks that are there, I'm speaking to you, this is talking to you. So book a call and let's go find out, or jump into this and take advantage of the 30 minutes thing, because there is a lot, especially when I'm talking about the pelvic area, the womb and all that. What is it that you desire to create? What is it that is interfering with that? Which takes us basically to the sexual energy, that desire, that pull, that 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 thing that makes you say yes to life. When something is taking your breath away, that is you connecting with something that is so beautiful, and you just awed. And I want you to experience that in your physical reality. So with that said, I can't wait to have a conversation with you. Jump in and we'll jump deeper from the 5th of November. Take advantage of the 30 minutes sessions, and we'll take it from there. Much love, and I wish you a wonderful, magical, and orgasmic weekend, wherever that you are. Much love. Bye-bye. The link is there in the comment.